Okay. We are live, technically. Right. Oh boy. I want to hear the same thing twice. Okay. Auto save feature. Sure. This is me having fun, so I'm just kind of yeah. And I'll just share it out to my friends and see if they want to watch too. What do I think about that? There you go. Give me a moment while I do this, because I don't have that big of an install base, and if I don't tell people that I'm live streaming, they don't know that I'm live streaming. So. Alright. Here we go, we're back! Yes! So we just met Miss Jezebel Brett, and the prosecutor and the judge are swooning over her. Okay, I believe the footprints are an amazing invention. When we oh right, we just found the bowl at the plate. When we humans look at the scene, we miss things. But in the photograph, things we may have overlooked at the time are recorded forevermore. Do hurry up, rookie. What are you trying to say? To inconvenience this poor lady any further really would be quite inexcusable. Actually, we may need to stay a little longer if you don't mind, Miss Brett. Is she gonna frown? Is she gonna frown? You see? It's very clearly visible in this other photograph. How did the victim come to have that unusually shaped burn on his wrist? The reason is recorded for here forevermore. I love how we're like using photography as if it's like a brand new thing, which I guess the thing they're saying this is like 1800s, I guess, so it's I guess for then this would be like a brand new invention. Objection! You can't fool me with your little bluffs, boy. I still have my water, yay! If that's your game, then let's see how this plays out. Show the court exactly what you mean. What is it in this photograph that explains the reason for the victim's burn? Oh, it's this leg right here in the leg. Bam! Oh. Bam! The beef steak? Actually, the point is the metal plate the steak was severed on. Served on! Wow, I can read. Your Excellency, are you alright? As you can see, there's an emblem on the plate. I would guess it's some sort of trademark of La Carnival. Ah! This emblem on the plate. And the victim's burn. Are exactly the same shape. Handscape, you genius. Yes, this is live, Dad. You're spot on. Which means the victim must have suffered this burn while he was present at the restaurant. Objection! But even if that is the case, we can't know if it happened on the day in question or not. It could have been the day before or the day before that. It most likely happened on some other related time. Well, Sadly, Prosecutor Itchy, the chances of that are extremely slim. Thanks. Why? The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Such a serious injury would have caused quite a commotion in the restaurant. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector Hisanaga? I can't imagine having missed such a terrible disaster, certainly. But... I would say, looking at the picture of the wound, that it wasn't suffered very long ago. And although it's not a particularly large burn, it's extremely well defined, as the defense just pointed out. Blech. There was no mild burn, that's for sure. Can you be more specific, Inspector? Well, let's see. If the plate was at around 90 degrees centigrade, a burn like that would have taken around 3 seconds. It's inconceivable that the victim wouldn't have let out a scream of pain then. I've been investigating at the restaurant for several weeks already, but I've not heard anyone scream at all. As the waiter of a head waiter of La Carnival, I can testify to that without hesitation. But you're a detective, not a waiter!
Yes!
There you have it. Something isn't right here. As the detective said, anyone who burnt themselves on a piping hot plate for 3 seconds would scream in pain. There's no question of that. And yet, Inspector Hisanaga never heard the professor scream, not on that day or any before it. That's right. And the strange thing is, on the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either. What are you suggesting? Well, if the professor had carelessly laid his wrist on the plate for anything like that 3 seconds that day, what if she shot him, right? Okay, I'm just thinking out loud. What if she shot him? Well, she pushed a plate in front of him first, shot him. Boom, his arms are down on the plate, and then she gets up, turns him around with the chair. That would be beyond careless, I think, counsel. Then the rest of us in restaurant, myself, the sergeant, and the old antiques dealer, all of us would, without question, have heard him scream. Wouldn't you agree, Prosecutor Ichi? Well, yes, I suppose. So the question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream? I almost don't believe it. Rinsuke, do you think... Can it really be true? I never dreamt we'd arrive at a conclusion like this, but I'm starting to think that maybe... Alright, Dad, can you hear me okay? We've been led into a terrible trap. There's only one explanation I can think of to make sense of this apparent impossibility. On the day in question, when he suffered the burn to his wrist, Dr. Wilson was already deceased. No man could remain silent while his wrist was burning on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds. That's clearly impossible, apart from one in particular situation. Counsel, are you suggesting? I am, sir. A bird slapped him on the wrist. Oh, it's only possible if the man's already dead. Already? Dead? Dead? I said a dead? She didn't look happy. Mom is cutting my hair right now. I'm watching, lol. Knowing that what we know now, it's only possible explanation. When the beef steak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead. That's madness! Order, 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 please! Counsel, explain this absurd notion at once. The victim was killed by a gunshot. That's right. That's absolutely right, Your Excellency. This is just another ridiculous ploy by the rookie student, but clearly he has no grasp of the facts. No, Prosecutor Uchi, it's you who has no grasp of the facts. I beg your pardon? As soon as it became apparent that the victim had suffered the burn while at the restaurant, this whole case was turned upside down. Or have you not grasped that yet? Your Excellency, the court must hear from this witness again if it's true, as we now believe that the victim was already dead before the gunshot was heard. It's highly likely that Miss Brett knows something about it. Incredible. I certainly didn't anticipate this twist of events. I'm sorry to say, Miss Brett, that you will have to forget your luncheon engagement. But Your Excellency! The justice system in our country may be in its infancy. But rest assured, all reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I am prepared to pass judgment. Thank you. Thank you, Your Excellency. Oh man, this is a long case. Like, if you play like the original Phoenix Wright, I think the case itself, like the first case, is like 2 hours or so, an hour and a half, 2 hours. You can get done with it pretty shortly, honestly. If you know what you're doing, it's pretty short, it's pretty easy. This is long. I mean, we've already gone through like 4 different witnesses. We have, like, it's gotten big. We've been in and out of the courtroom. It's like, whoa. What was that smile? Yes, of course. I mean, I'd be delighted to help. Oh! Oh, she can speak Japanese. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Especially if it helps relations between my country and yours. Miss Brett, you speak Japanese. Well, of course I do. I am studying in your country after all. But then why have you been speaking through an interpreter till now? My mother tongue, the Queen's English, is the most refined and elegant language in the world. As a gentlewoman, I try to avoid speaking in your vulgar tones as much as possible. Ouch! I love Japanese. Thank you very much. But it seems the men in this island possess none of the chivalrous virtues of English gentlemen. So I can see I shall have I can see that I shall have to lower myself to communicating with you all on your own level. Oh, well, you are an epitome of a true English gentleman. We are truly honored by this lavish consideration you so graciously afford us. See, in that case, Miss Brett, I will now ask you to testify in your own words about the events leading up to the death of the victim, Dr. Wilson. So we're finally going to hear her own words on the matter. Things are getting interesting, Ryunosuke. The victim's death. Sorry, just thought of Dad's hair getting cut, and I was like, what hair? Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burnt his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. As far as I have heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides a gunshot. If there's some other way a man's life could be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me. Of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyway. That most captivating and beautiful testimony to go down in the I have to sully my lips with the coarse tones of your unbecoming tongue. then why did you learn it? Like, okay, here's what I think is really funny. So, like, the people in this country they're sucking up to England, the English woman. So she shouldn't even have to learn their language. Like, it shouldn't even be like, it should be like a second thought. I don't see why she learned it. Oh, forgive me. I do hope I haven't insulted anyone. Not at all, not at all. It's a delight merely to hear you speak, my lady. Dear lady. And it seems clear from your testimony this boorish talk of the victim's burn is utterly irrelevant. I will be speaking to your country's minister when it should be possible. Amen. Huh? Oh, thanks? Is that a prayer? Then? I don't think she's praying. Well, your student, as you put it, doesn't miss much. I'm willing with this witness testimony. I mean, I love the trial, I really do, but I was kind of like, this is like extensive for first trial. It's taken me like 3 hours just to like get it, yeah, over like nearly 2.5 to 3 hours. It's been long. I'm ruling on the case immediately. Is that clear? Then you may proceed with a cross-examination. Victim's death. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burnt his wrist like that.
Yes!
Sorry. Ever since I arrived at this courtroom, and even still now, the fly on those unsightly black trousers of yours has been wide open. How does she see that? Like, there's a bench. What is this, like... Is he that tall? Haha, what fun. You hadn't realized. The jailer... True, gentlemen. He chose honorable silence over a vulgar scream. Can your tiny brains imagine such a thing? Can't? Anyway. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. But we've already proven that, like, if I go, I'm not gonna actually do it. But, like, we're not gonna press on that just yet. As you testified before, you were drinking carbonated water, is that right? Dr. Wilson was only permitted to drink water at the time, if you remember. So, although whether or not the professor actually drank any of the water when I delivered the steak to the table. I'm afraid I don't remember that. I don't think I should understand that, at least. For the benefit of others in the court, it means bless you. You know, you're pretty. If I say you're stupid, that doesn't make you smart. So, yeah. Anyway. As far as I've heard, the postmortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides the gunshot. Let's see. Wait. No. Nuh-uh. But it doesn't! It just says that's how he died. It didn't say there's any others. Oh, whatever.
Yes!
Yes, a risk isn't going to kill us. And there were no other signs of trauma in the victim's body to indicate some other cause of death. It can only have been from the bush brought to the table by the waiter. Yes, that's true. If it had cooled even slightly, it wouldn't have been able to make a burn like that. And if the victim burned his wrist, then the hot plate is soon a shot to the chest, until you're able to show the court evidence to disprove that this was a complete waste of time. I concur. Prosecutor Yuchi is taken without leaving a trace. Please show me.
Yes!
Poison. Without leaving a trace. Hold on. Hold on! No, 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 no! That's why she took the glass! That's why she took the glass! That glass was poison! He was poisoned! If something is hot... I figured it out! Because they raised their glasses in a toast. He drank from it. She took his glass. Psych's physical traces with all this cause of death, that's true. But maybe there's some other way of killing someone that doesn't leave a mark. I'm afraid your argument falls rather flat, doesn't it? Oh no, perish the thought. Colleague, such a sweet young lady's innocence and no trace. We need evidence to back us up here. Yes, evidence. There you go. Food to drink other than water. It doesn't say even carbonated water, it just says water. On my end, it's showing everything. Cellular.
Yes!
But... love to. How do I do that? This is the one thing that makes me mad about this kind of game. Like this, Danganronpa and whatnot. You have to find like that one perfect answer. Like, I understand where I'm going, but I'm not... Well, you know, they did add a feature to this game that makes me really happy. Officer restrain the accused and send however communication to Great Britain without delay. The accused will not be granted the right to appeal. As far as I've heard, some report knows no shots, both kinds of shit. That's a gunshot. It's another way it means life can be taken without a trace. Please do show me. But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyway.
Yes!
Better examination, but in this country you investigate once. Exactly, which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost. It doesn't even occur to your naive detectives to try to preserve the crime scene. I'm trying to be as tactful about this as I can, you understand. Haha, killer below. Ladies, formula, she is beautiful. Amazing. He's actually admitting our police may be flawed. Perhaps the prosecution is finally starting to make sense. I very much doubt that. Still, there's something about what Miss Brett just said. There was a moment before when something didn't seem quite right. What do you think, Ryusuke? I think I'm going terribly. No matter how much I press her, I'm not turning up any information. Yes, as I expected, she's a tough witness. We need to find a way to break her testimony, or the cross-examination will be over. But that would mean I have to find a way. There must be some clue somewhere to help us find a chink in her armor. Kazuma. What, Ryusuke? There is one thing I noticed. Something that's been all I had to do is press everything. Bothering you mean about Miss Brett? Yeah, actually, no. About the person standing next to her. Inspector Hosonaga. The detective. Yes, he seemed to react a little strangely to Miss Brett's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant, if we might present an opening, maybe. Alright, I have an idea. Try pressing her in the last statement one more time. If you think so, but this time instead of targeting the woman herself. Let's see what we can get out of the detective. Alright then. I wonder what Kazuma's thinking. I'll find out soon enough, I suppose. Once I press Miss Brett in her last statement again. Fortunately, I have no idea, and the poor man burnt his wrist like that. Okay, press. Inferior, what do you mean by that? In the lands of the Great British Empire, the police store everything found in the crime scene for later examination. But in this country, you investigate once, and that's the end of it. Isn't that so? Quite right. Yeah, incident, exactly. Investigation. Yes, there it is again. The detective's reaction is just the same as before. Why? Until now, the detective has been in the stand with Miss Brett as her interpreter. But things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what the Englishwoman has to say. This could be a golden opportunity. What do you mean? When the people are actually testifying, they're usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, you'll find they often let their guards down. You're right, look at him, he's lost in his own thoughts. It's time to pursue the man, his train of thought. Sorry, pursue. I'll be making the current statement. Ah, okay. Moving the marker left and right with the D-pad, you can turn your attention to other people in the stand. While you're looking... See, my hope is to finish this trial before 10 o'clock. You'll be able to pursue them with the A button. Let's stand, take a good look around. Alright, then. So you should first move the marker across with the D-pad and focus on the detective. Then pursue him with A and see what's on his mind. Here we go.
Wait. Excuse me.
What's the meaning of the It looked like you were thinking something just now, Inspector. Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had to say? If there's something you'd like to say, please share it with the court. What is the meaning of this? It's the delightful Englishwoman who's testifying at the moment. If you can't find fault with her testimony, then the cross-examination should be over immediately. Oh, is that how it works? Absolutely not. The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness. Bird, yeah. Yes, not to mention the fact that he's intimately involved with the case. Inspector Hasagna. Hosonaga. Yes? Do you have something to add in relation to this statement made by Miss Brett? Well, yes. If you don't mind, I would like to speak. It was used in Great Britain. Which is why I, Satoru Hosonaga, always strive to make every investigation involved in flawless. What do you really mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. It's persevering. Preserving evidence, you see. Crime scene thief. Well, it looks like the lady's remarks touched a nerve there. Take this, for example. Opened 3 days ago. But it was carbonated water. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, there's some left in the bottle. I can see it. One day our police force will be among the best. I can't say I condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the sentiment. The court will accept the glass bottle of water as evidence. The carbonated water bottle is... Yeah, okay, good. Miss Brett? Can you confirm this is indeed the bottle from which you drank the day of the victim's death? Yes. It must be poison! It must be poison! It must be poison! Yeah. Very well, counsel. You may return the cross-examination. Inspector will kindly control his fervor. Hem. Present. Because if I examine the bottle... Label is written in a foreign language that I don't recognize. And go to France and ask! You could just say you don't know. Parched. I'll just have a sip of this to keep me going. No! Rinsuke, you can't do that! For one thing, that's evidence. You can't go drinking evidence? Oh, no, you're right. We don't know what might be in this water? What's the matter? You've gone quiet all of a sudden. I think I might have just worked something out. An interesting possibility. What is this? The bottle of water. It's exciting. Actually, there is one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. It's called math. To birds. Poison. It must be poison. It must be poison. It must be poison. On the day of his death, you know that Dr. Wilson drank from this bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was poison inside? Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip of his glass? Order! 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 I said order in the court. I'll take chili and fries, please. Thank you very much. And on that day, he was sitting at the same table as the professor and able to sip the poison into his drink. There's only one person who could have possibly done it. Giselle Brett, it was you! Ooh, I wonder if we'll get to see her eyes. Maybe the bird in her head will come alive and start pecking us. Attention! Attention! This is outrageous. Suggested the thing would be without a scrap of evidence. You little rookie imbecile. Have you even considered how the delicate situation of our country... Have you even considered the delicate situation our country finds itself in now? Have you forgotten that we have only just signed an accord of friendship with the British Empire? Have you even the vaguest inkling that your rash accusations could jeopardize the entire treaty? This is not a political arena. This is a trial to determine one's individual's guilt with respect to one's crime. The fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We are here to determine the truth. Yes, thank you, public alert system. I get these alerts on my phone like all the time, and they're in Korean. So I can't read them. I can't change it to English so I can read it and understand what's happening. Kerr. Ahem. If I may, I will silence you forever over this disgraceful attack. Shut up! It is you who should be silent. Of course. Dear lady! Alright. I'm afraid I may have spoken unfairly before. I have my most humble apologies. I'm sorry, my lady. What are you referring? I described your police force as inferior, but no matter how inferior they may be, you still investigated a particular point thoroughly, I believe. The bottle, I mean, Inspector, whether it contained poison or not. Of course. You did? Have you forgotten what my guiding principle is already? I strive for a flawless investigation every time. It was in the water. It was not in the bottle itself, but in the glass. Check the glass. I don't believe it. Naturally, we tested the inside of the bottle and its contents. And what did you find, Inspector? I ordered tests for every toxins available in this country at the present time. We could find no trace of poison of any description in the bottle of carbonated water, Your Excellency. What? Are you sure? The tests were meticulously carried out by Chief Coroner himself. No. No! I'm gonna move this back, like, one more. Just so I can lean back. So, I hope that doesn't interfere with my speaking! I'm very grateful to all you Japanese. You succeeded in establishing my complete innocence in this horse affair. Thank you. But of course, dear lady, the pleasure was all ours. I was so sure. This is me, probably on the day of my finals. It can't be right. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned. Thank you, counsel. I think that cross-examination has clarified everything. As the prosecution have asserted, a shot to the chest from this gun is the only conceivable cause of death. Furthermore, the accused, who by his own admission was holding this weapon, is the only possible culprit. I'm done for. The court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience the court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience this has caused you, Miss Brett. Oh no, I'm just glad the matter is resolved. Deep dark depression, excessive misery. If it weren't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. Gloom, despair. Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel or defense. I'm sorry, Rinsuke. I have nothing more.
Hold it.
Yeah! The girl from... Isn't that... What's the meaning of this? Forgive me for... Susato Mikitoba left to go. She appeared like a bolt of lightning. And in her head... To be continued? To be continued?! What do you mean? Kidding me? 4:14 p.m. Supreme Court of Judiciator Courtroom 2. Where did Miss Jezebel go? Well, I understand you are the judicial assistant to the defense. Why the sudden ingress into my courtroom? Ha! Judicial assistant and a woman, no less. Wow. So an English woman has higher status than a Japanese person, but a Japanese woman has less status than a regular Japanese man, I guess? The rules state that females are not permitted into the court of law other than to testify. Yes, I fully understand. I ask only for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense. Ha! You're too late, girl. The trial has already been concluded. 5 minutes. I will allow a moment. I will not allow a moment more. Man, I can't speak at the point. But your excellency! I am most grateful. Man, she is graceful. Who exactly are you? I'm filling up your bench. There's more people in the room here. I'm sorry, there's no time. Please, simply accept this for now. What is it, a report about something? In English. It's Giselle Brett's research. The English woman's? After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical facility and borrowed this paper. Oh, yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? So, does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case? I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself. Oh, no, of course not. Special characteristics of Carrier and its effects on human subjects. Interesting. Carrier? What's that? I've never heard that word before. Me neither! Time's up! That's the fastest 5 minutes I've ever seen in my life! The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespass from the courtroom. There's too little time for me to read it in detail, but I summarized what I could on a note just inside the cover. If you think it might be valuable, please cast your eye on it. This is wonderful. Goodbye then, and good luck. Thank you! Pretty lady. We could. Oh, Mom, I just want to say thanks for the gummy bears. Because those have been like a great little snack with everything they're giving me. Does either side have any further evidence to present the court? Not, but the prosecution has a chance. Yes, I know. Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence. Oh, yeah. Well, Miss Brett. Yes, Your Excellency. If you very long until tea time, I'll have to politely decline. Forgive me, Miss Brett. It seems I wasn't clear. I said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense. My apologies, dear. That demands the court's attention.
Yes!
Research by sheer coincidence, perhaps, into a deadly poison. What? Where are you going with this, Counsel? A toxin known as Carrier, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant. I heard of it! You wouldn't have done. You wouldn't have done? You would not have done? It doesn't exist in our country. It doesn't exist. Oh. Correct, which means because of birds! Order! Order! I still think she should have used iocane powder. According to this report, authorized by visiting research student from England. Lovely stuff, yup. It seems that it's very reasonable, well known among Europeans. The report states that it is produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle, and it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. It claims that animals
Objection!
Trumpery! These aspirations are utter trumpery. Started the victim had been. That's true. What do you say to that, Inspector? Obviously, I would have noticed it. According to this, however, it's the other way around. What do you mean? Yourself, Counsel. The moment the toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. Even if they were in total agony, there'd be no visible signs of pain at all. Ow! Ow! My toe! I dropped my controller off my toe. I was trying to... Man lost all his strength and muscle across the floor, but with a chair under him for support, Dr. Wilson did. The effects... The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. The paralysis is so severe it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail. Respiration? In other words, the actual cause. To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. Oof. And you're suggesting that this bottle council actually contains this terrifying poison? Hitherto? Hitherto? Dad, you know what that means? I don't know what that means. Hitherto unknown poison. I think you're so clever. You're taught by some man. Shut up! It is you. You must be taught. So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it? What? You steal? Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual. Whatever do you mean? Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent... Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstance of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime, that really is a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree? Enough of this! I, for one, refuse to accept. What's so funny? Oh, excuse me. I don't see, why not? Is she gonna drink out of it? Too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys. Just because she can drink out of it doesn't mean she didn't build an immunity to it. Foolish court antics are laughable, really. But I... Whatever is the matter? You all look quite stunned. The bottle was clean, is that what you're saying? My research so concisely here at this grand venue, most kind. Thank you, waiter. Now then, your excellency. A friendship between our countries. Ah, yes, dear lady. We are most gratified with all the assistance you have given. How did she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale? I don't understand it all. Party I attend in London. There has to be poison in that bottle, doesn't there? But there can't have been. I have all the clues now. That bottle of water. It contains poison. The culprit did put Curie. Fool! Are you blind? There's no possibility the bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw Miss Brett drinking the water from it. That's right. I need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer's in the evidence we have, the court record somewhere. It has to be. What explains how the witness was able to consume the supposedly poisoned water unscathed?
Yes!
Oh, okay. Never mind. I have no earthly idea then. I just find the answer that fits the facts. If the defense sorry, the wretched accused truly intends to assert his claim, then I say support the assertion with evidence. Solution for free. Yeah, no, it's right here. Yeah. Yes. My bad. It's right here, Miss Brett's own research report. That is not a valid explanation. No. After all, I'm not trying to ridicule anyone. Honest, I'm just reading Susuta-san's notes. I concur. The report is too extensive to be considered in this entirely by the court. I really hope I finish this within the next half an hour. You will direct us to the pertinent section, counsel. Which section of the report reveals the alleged answer to the riddle? Oh, shoot. Special characteristics. We have been hearing a lot about this cure poison. And it's left me curious about something. The burn. Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years. To lace the heads of the arrows they shot at whatever prey they're hunting. So we've been led to believe, yes. And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat. Get to the point, please. But if they were to use these laced arrows, doesn't that mean there be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were going to eat? Yes, good point. So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because they'd be eating poison. Good gracious, counsel, no, that'd be madness. Well, I actually found the answer to that conundrum. In this research papers here, under special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound. Through a wound, you say? I see, that makes sense. Yes, the mention of that particular detail seemed a little strange to me, though. But it all makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. Curiaire enters the body through an open wound, has terrifying poison effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poison effects whatsoever. What? Miss Brett, you authored this research. You knew Curiaire's special characteristics, and you knew that you could make a spectacle of drinking that water without any danger to yourself. You meddling little. Oh, the bird is alive. Rapscallion. Well, in this case, it turns out that birds really do live on people's heads. You are an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be. Really? Me? A lawyer? All this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure. But I fail to see how possibly... So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with. Some facts he read in a book. But I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly. What are you trying to say? You are twit. Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw. Schoolboyish flaw? As even your brain has managed to deduce Curiaire safe to ingest. It seems likely that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric succus. Oh yes, well, of course. Gastric suckers? What are they? That's right. Good gracious. That's basic science. Science that even a schoolboy should be able to understand, no? The wrist. The wrist. It's all in the wrist. Order! Order in the court! Order! Chili and fries. The logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they'd be affected in the same way. Are you trying to suggest? Yes, the Curiaire poison is completely irrelevant to the case on trial. That's right. Surely even a little cockroach like you could understand something as simple as that. Oof. What is this welling up inside me? I've never felt like this before. It's a sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. And more than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey.
Objection!
I don't think so, Miss Giselle Brett. How? Wow, her thing got huge. How dare you use that tone with me? You know very well that there's no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you. You must provide compelling evidence. As we know, this poison completely harmless when ingested. Why would Dr. Wilson have been alone killed by the Curer?
Take that!
Okay, I'm on the right track, but... Great. I'm not trying to overthink it. Ingested.
Take that!
As Miss Ress already pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners. A fatal difference. The toxic effects of cure are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. Wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poisoned water. Inside? Yes, like the wound you might have if you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example. Ah! Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times, right? This. Is she laughing? I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly I can't resist. These childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are so parallel. What do you mean? You see, when you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it. No! I mean, it could just slip. Oh dear, how careless of me. I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed. No! Wow. That's tampering with evidence and should put her in jail. Whoa. What are you waiting for? I assure you it will soak up the water beautifully. You have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it. Ah ha 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 ha. How could you? You won't get away with this! You can't thump the bench and shout as much as you like, little boy. I'm afraid we'll never know now, will we? Either there was poison in that bottle or not. You. And let us not forget. Oh, of course, referring to the photographic print, I presume, dear lady. That's right, and really, looking at this photograph is as clear as day, isn't it? The poor professor was sitting with his back to me. So, of course, the only person who could have shot him from the front is the little schoolboy. You waited until he picked up the pistol you arranged for him to find on the floor, before he shot the professor in his chair around. You see? You had every opportunity to commit this crime. What a wonderful imagination you have, young man. Exactly, and as you have nothing to support your wild claims, prosecution's stance remains unchanged. The victim, Dr. John H. Wilson, was killed by gunshot to the chest. This is the longest trial. I mean, in terms of the first trial. This is unbelievable. How can this be happening? We had her, but now... Is she really going to get away with it? What? What do you mean? We've lost a vital piece of evidence. It's true. So, if there are any clues left to use now, they must be in your head. In my head? You told me before that your powers of observation were the one thing that could really depend upon. Well, yes, that's true, but I didn't manage to notice this woman was a foreigner with a swan in her head. Think back now. Try to remember every last little detail about seeing that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell. What I saw, what I felt. Every color. To expose the instant identity of Dr. Wilson's killer? Actually, Kazuma, I think I might have something to Runescape. Come on, then let's wipe that smug smile out of that Englishman's face, some evidence. Niggling? What's niggling mean? It's been niggling? I'd say nagging is a better word. It's been nagging me for a while, so it feels amiss in my memories of that day. Whatever it could be, whatever it is, could be the key to arriving at the truth about all this. It's here somewhere. The clue that shows who Dr. Wilson's real killer must have been is.
Take that!
Inspector Oshinaga, answer me this. He's still shocked. Yes, what is... Ugh, he's still miles away, probably thinking about that bottle being smashed. As you said a number of times now. Like, for instance, the plate of steak that you took to the victim's table that day. Wait a minute, where are you going with that? Where are you going with this, little boy? It's just a memory that's been troubling me. What memory? I saw this scene shown in the photograph print with my own eyes that day. I saw that wooden base the pallet steak was served on. Was spattered with it was a spattering of blood. What? Oh really? And what of it? Obviously that must have happened when you shot the professor. No, that can't be the case. Take a good look at the photograph and the relative position of everything else there. Plate of steak almost directly behind the victim. If I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front, there's no way the blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind him. Yes. For blood to have made it to the table, it implies the plate was between the victim and the shooter. It means the shooter must have been sitting opposite the professor as you were. Zell Brett, I beg your pardon? This is beyond ridiculous. Fabricated nonsense. Is the court seriously expected to believe something the accused has apparently just remembered seeing? This could be a moment my entire career in the police force has been leading to. Inspector, you mean? Yes, I took the plate in the interest of preserving evidence from the scene of the crime. I took it to meat and all. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it. You did what? I took the steak that you've been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the sergeant had been eating. I did it all in the name of justice. Then we can find out for sure whether or not there's blood stain on Miss Brett's plate. We must examine it now. Inspector, The court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately. Yes, sir. Sorry for the delay. Here's what you ordered. The steak. Well, what about the blood? Is there any blood on it? Of course there isn't. Quietly, Inspector. The blood, man! Show the court! Of course. Examine the plate at your leisure. No. No blood. No blood anywhere. But, no, that's impossible! I know I saw it. I'm sure of it. I was right there at a table behind the professor. There was blood on the side of the plate. What an unbecoming expression, little boy. You see? This is why I always say you can't trust the Japanese tell you. I couldn't agree more. In the case, this is a disgrace to the Empire. I believe we may finally have reached a conclusion of this trial. Let's hope so. This let's pretend attempt at the courtroom proceedings is painful to watch, but I do promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over. Ha! The sorry-looking steak reveals the fact all too clearly. Sorry-looking accused wish to examine it again. Be my guest. What the plate I saw, or I thought I saw, is just a figment of imagination? This is it now. I've lost. Yusuke. It's not over yet. Not until the final gavel. Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward, no matter what. Believe in myself, really? Man, this really is a long first case. Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself. As the evidence requested by the defense has not been shown to be problematic in any way, I presume any further examination of evidence in this trial will be unnecessary. Does the defense have any objection? That bloodstain was going to clinch the trial for me. Can this plate of steak reveal any other clues at all? Your Excellency, please wait. This plate of beef is hiding another clue. Another clue to reveal the shocking truth. The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beef steak. Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial. I'm sorry, Miss Brett, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence. I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled. I see. As newly affirmed ally of my country, that's still your position, isn't it? Thank you, Your Excellency. Counsel, for the defense, you will now clearly show the court to what you are alluding. Okay. Do you guys see anything? I don't see anything. Uh... I don't see anything.
Got it!
Okay. I literally have no idea. Cause on the bowl itself, right? Because let's see if I can't turn it weirdly. It was faced like this, so it should have been about here, right? Well, there's nothing here. Nothing here. You know what? The steak itself? No, council, I'm afraid that won't do. And yes, I did this. I don't know.
Got it!
The bullhorn. No. Okay. Ah, trying to stay over to find something to help me out with this mess. Oh, okay, that's cool. What precisely on this plate of beefsteak is this new clue to be found? How in the world? That tiny little dot right there? Thought it was that when I turned it over, but apparently that's not it.
Got it!
Alright, well, then guess what we're doing, guys? You see me and just going through that thing. Yup. Do. I don't care. Story mode. Please show me where on this stake that I wasn't looking. What? What? Bull. No, yeah, no, I totally... Awesome. No, that's awesome, game. Good job. The hallmark is from the Ahoy hair, I believe. Oh no, I didn't mean this is what is it? Wait, did you say it was a Ahoy Koban? Yes, apart from the meat juices. Or swine, never heard of bouillon before bouillon. I don't think you ever will again. It was extraordinary though. This means just that's a Koban. What on earth? Or Erewhon at that. Tell me, why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat? What a ridiculous question. How a coin under the meat? Well, it could simply have been a careless mistake by the chef in the moment of distraction. This turns out to be irrelevant to the case. I'll rip up my ticket to the Great Britain right now. He's right. It can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency. Yes, Counsel. My lawyer job right now. By all means, don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyway. It is essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what it's doing under the steak. Right. The owner of Koban found underneath the beefsteak is Kryo Kurokuda.
Take that!
Obvious something? Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable. Ah, yes. The old man who testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct? Yes, Your Excellency. I'm gonna remove the sergeant. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy. Indeed, Hoi Koban, my prized coin! This Hoi Koban, do you mean to tell me? Which is why I'm asking to bring Korika-san back to the witness stand so we can ask him. And we will ask him. Like, I have done 3 days of live streaming, like about an hour and a half each day. I think it's a little bit longer than that. And gosh, this is gonna take at least one more to maybe be done. So that's gonna be it. Tomorrow we'll talk to the old man. Maybe we'll finish the case. I don't know. Maybe it'll take 2 or 3 more parts.